Hey guys, thank you for joining me again. Now I'm aware that for my podcast, I'm meant to have an intro and an outro. An intro where I don't know, welcome you guys, and an outro where I, thank you for listening, and I don't know, get you ready for the next episode. And I have personally listened to podcasts now almost every day for the last, I think, nearly 4 years. And I have always hated them and thought they were a waste of time. And I have, when I was able to, I skipped through them. And I hated it when I was driving. And then the intro comes, and sometimes it's an ad. And then it's just someone else talking about what's going to come up in the podcast, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to get to it already. I guess that's what I'm doing right now. But anyway, that's why I will not do it. Or at least for now, like I don't want to. So my podcast episodes are just gonna start abruptly and end abruptly, okay? And if you have anything to say about that, then feel free. I'm open for feedback, but I'm just gonna try and keep it just high and by, or not even by. I think the episode will just finish. Okay. Okay, so today the topic is, I think, unless I changed it, the gift of suffering, a path to love and freedom. And I'm going to tell you a little story of just something that happened yesterday. And that was very, very powerful for me. And I want to see if it resonates with anyone else, if you've had an experience like this, or if maybe my experience can give you some sort of push or hope. But before I start, there's just a little bit of background information. I'm going to mention Maharaj-ji, who is a Hindu guru. He was Ram Dass's guru, if you know who Ram Dass is. So Maharaj-ji died in 1973, and he was a devotee of Hanuman. Hanuman is a Hindu deity who's half monkey. So all the pictures of him, all the drawn pictures of him are always, with a monkey face and a tail, and, but still looking human in clothes and whatever. And he was in the stories, he was sent to earth to be a devotee of God, to help God, to give him service. And now people who are devoted to Hanuman, they also believe in, they practice bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion, to devote yourself to God, the Hindu god Ram. I think, look, I don't know much about it. I just quickly read up on it, so I get my bearings, and I can tell you a bit about it. But that's as much as I know. I don't know more about it. I don't have that much knowledge. For me, what I have is just a direct experience, and then the rest of it, I just don't know. But for the story, I think it's relevant that just Maharaj-ji. Also that the people who followed Maharaj-ji while he was alive, they believed that he was a reincarnation of Hanuman, of the monkey god. There are some funny stories, I think. I only know a tiny bit. I only know basically what Ram Dass talked about in his podcast, or what is his podcast now. Someone saw a tail once, or he's very monkey-like in the way he moves. I think he threw fruit at people, maybe like a monkey would do. Anyway, so there is the belief that he's the monkey god, reincarnated, come to earth to serve us, to tell us, to show us the way, to wake us up. Okay. Now, it's so weird because what I'm about to say, like, even just remembering it, even though it was yesterday, remembering it, I don't believe it myself, or I don't believe the words. it's almost like when I say it, when I put it into words, it suddenly doesn't feel so true anymore, or there's something about the words making it icky or muddying it. But I feel in my feeling of what happened, the way it felt, I know it is 100% the truth. So not what I'm saying is true, but in the real sense of the truth of that there's something in us that we can't quite point, or we can point to it, but we can't quite talk about it because it's there are no words to describe it. This what we are. There's something there that our mind cannot get to and grasp. It can't. And that's what was touched in that story I'm going to tell you now, okay? And that's where it all happened, and I cannot really bring it into this realm somehow, but I will just tell the story and see if maybe I just, to me it was so wow, and it helped me a great deal, and maybe it does, maybe you have a similar story, or maybe this will help you a bit as well. Okay, anyway, all right, so I have been going through a pretty tough time in the last few weeks. Just personal stuff that has come up that I can't really say at the moment, because there are other people involved that I don't want to, make uncomfortable. But I'm moving through a very, very, very difficult period in my life. And yesterday, I hit a point where my mind just took over. The mind came in really strong, and it was like a storm, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get out. So a lot of suffering came up. Then also what happened yesterday, while I was moving through all of that and feeling a lot of suffering and so much pain, I was on Facebook in a Ram Dass group, and someone shared a song from Krishna Das. I'm going to try and write it down somewhere in the comments or in the description so you guys can look it up if you want to. The song is called, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like Sri Argala Stotram. I'll write it down if I can figure out how to. So a song by Krishna Das. And I don't usually click on that stuff, especially if it's a link, because I'm worried that it might be something else. So I don't usually click on anything, but yesterday I clicked on it. And it was, it's a different language. I can't understand a word. But then at the end of the song, towards the end, the lyrics go like, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me, from that famous song. And this song just helped me so much yesterday. It was like a crutch almost, or like an anchor, And this is not the first time that this happened from a song from Krishna Das. He originally it was one of his songs that cracked my heart wide open, and sort of, freed me. So yesterday again, this song, and I just thought, oh my God. So I was listening to it most of the day, but still I couldn't break free. I felt so captured in my pain, in my mind. So at night I decided to take a bath and to relax. And I love baths. It's like a recent thing. I never used to, but now I do. And I kept my headphones in and I just listened to this song on repeat. And I was lying there, and the pain, oh my God, there was so much pain. And I just thought, I forgot my heart. I forgot my love. I can't remember or something. I was like, there's so much. Like, where's this coming from? And where's my heart? Where's this love that's meant to make it all better? This unconditional love that I had been feeling for, so long now. And I got so desperate that I started praying. And at first, so my first instinct was like, oh God, please help me. And then there was this God, like, because I don't have that connection to God or that word, what that word represents. So then I just remembered that, Maharaj-ji was the one that I have felt like inside of me. He's the one that when I capture his essence, I explode with love. I even feel it now talking about him. It's so strange. So, that hit me very quickly. Like it was just like really just like a second where I went like, oh God, please, and I went like, oh no, Maharaj-ji, Maharaj-ji, please help me. And I asked him to show me love again. And at that moment, the song started in English, I want to know what love is. And it was almost like I was asking Maharaj-ji the lyrics, like they were just as if they were, I was listening to them so I could repeat them to Maharaj-ji and ask him, I want to know what love is and show me again, please show me. And it was so funny. Suddenly everything stopped. And all there was a memory. It was so strong, and it hit me. It was a memory from probably 20 years ago, around 20 years ago. I was young. I lived in Lebanon, and my father took me to a zoo that wasn't open yet, that a friend of his was building. Okay. And in Lebanon, animals are not treated too well. And what happened is we went, and I'm obsessed with animals, absolutely obsessed with them. And anyone who knows me knows this. And my father wanted me to, oh my God, come and see all the animals. So there wasn't much there yet because they were still setting up. But we went inside sort of like the main building, and there was this little crate. And there were a few people, and, my dad's friend, I don't remember who exactly was there, but they were like, come here, have a look. And they opened the crate, and in it was a baby monkey. And he was terrified. He was so scared. And they asked me if I wanted to hold him. And I just thought, oh my God, yes, please let me hold the monkey, And I held this baby monkey in my arms. And I looked in his eyes, and I was young. I didn't it just happened so fast, I just thought, oh my God, cute little monkey. And then, he was not clawing, but he was grabbing. He wanted to hold me tight, And after a few minutes, they asked me, I'll take him back. And I handed him over, and he didn't let go of me. And he grabbed me, and he did not want to let go. We sort of had to claw open his fingers to get him off me. Oh God, let's see if I can get through this story. And they put him away, and I just heard him screaming, and I don't remember much else. I don't think I was able to deal with much more at that time, at that moment in my life. I don't know if they put him back in the crate or someone else held him, but they were screaming, and he was very upset. I went home, and that was the end of it, And that was it. And I remember this story, I don't know, I've maybe remembered it like 3 times since then in 20 years. And then yesterday in the bathtub, after I prayed to Maharaj-ji, the reincarnated monkey god, he hit me with that memory. And not just with the memory, but the full-blown experience of the monkey. I felt the suffering of the monkey. I felt the tearing away of the monkey from his mother. And that agony, that pain, that fear, that suffering, it was in me. And I wept. It was a proper weeping. Like it wasn't just like a crying. It was a soul breaking. It was too, like, oh, I felt like it was too much, and it broke me open somehow. It broke something so tight in me, in my chest. It broke my heart open. And then all I was left with was this message floating around. And I'm not even sure if it's exactly that message, but all I could remember then was the message, love is in the suffering. Love is in the suffering. And it brought me back. And then I just needed, I think, like 24 hours until now to let that all sink in, what happened. And I couldn't even make sense of anything. It was just, there was so much feeling and so much stuff. Like it was just a lot. My brain was still foggy, my mind was foggy. And then it all sunk in, And it's like love, which we are. Ultimately, we think we are a body and a person, and we have a personality and thoughts, but we are actually love. The universe is love. It's this unconditional love. And if it sounds stupid to you, maybe you needed to hear it in a different word, maybe we need to use a different word for it. But it is ultimately that love that you feel. If you know what love is, that is actually what you are. That is what we are. And it is like we, as love, are using suffering to purify ourselves. It is a positive thing, It's used to burn up our identity so we can be free of the humanness, so we can be free of the illusion of mind, and we can be more in this love, And Ram Dass, it's a quote which says, suffering only shows where you are attached. That is why to those on the path, suffering is grace. And that is exactly it. I guess my mind came in so strong, I forgot that my suffering is my cleansing, This is where I'm stuck, and you work through it. But I just got sucked down into it, sort of, instead of, remaining sort of above it and watching it and letting it happen, sort of letting it play out. But it will crack your heart wide open to let love flow freely, so you can be more yourself, your real self, less person, more your true self. So, suffering ultimately brings you closer to oneness. Yep. And then I wrote this, which I wanted to read as well. Once my mind sort of settled, and I sort of tried to check in with a few people on Facebook to see what they thought about, suffering is, love is in the suffering. And then what came to me was, suffering is grace. It cracks your heart wide open so love can flow. And it is in and through this love that God flows through us, merges with us, drowns out the personal I, and floods us with loving awareness, with pure being. So, yeah, it's and it's only from here that you can live a free life as love, not as a human being, or not as the person that you think you are, because a person always has attachments. When you are a person, you will suffer and not know why you are suffering, and when that happens, then you will push your suffering away because you don't want to deal with it. You don't want it. And then that just means that being pushed away, it'll come back stronger next time. And it'll come back stronger in you. And then because you don't want to deal with it and you keep pushing it around, it'll leak out onto the people around you, the people in your life, and ultimately the whole world. And then you will suffer and create suffering in others as well. That's when we make bad decisions, or don't think about others because we can't bear whatever, and we'll do anything to just get rid of this pain. And we will, do things that we don't normally wouldn't do. just in this desperate attempt to just not feel that stuff. And the funny thing is, when you push away suffering, you're pushing away love as well. Not funny, but it's a little bit funny. Yeah, so yeah, the more you resist your suffering, the stronger it'll get. Because there's something deep inside of you that wants you to wake up. And suffering is like the alarm, that wakes you up. The signal sort of, up, you've lost yourself or you're not there, look over here, you gotta get rid of this. It's actually perfect. It's such a perfect system. So the more you let go and let life flow freely, the more you will relax. The more you go into your suffering and bear it instead of resisting it, the lesser it will become. And it'll run out of things to clean in you, to clean up. And the more you go towards your suffering, the more you go towards love. And this love will ultimately completely free you and clean you out, and then spill out of you onto the people around you. Yeah. And then, of course, you can hear all this, but then, like, how the hell do I do it? It's easier said than done. But it is something that you do have to do. You can't just sort of learn it. It's something that needs to happen inside of you. But then trying to do it, that's the funny thing. Trying to do it means you don't do anything. That's the paradox, maybe. All you do is you don't identify with your thoughts. When thoughts come up, don't believe them, allow them to come. Don't touch them, don't play with them, don't try and, change them to sound better, to feel better, and just allow them to fall away again. And while all this happens, you just stay present. And that staying present is extremely difficult because we have been following our thoughts and playing with them our entire lives. We've learned to do it. We still learn to do it. We learn to do it at school. We learn to do it at work. Even in therapy, you're meant to pick up your thoughts and change them. I think there are even some methods in, like meditation and stuff where you, change your thoughts. But for the sake of waking up and stepping out of mind and replacing it with love, do not touch anything. Don't touch them. Just remain present. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Go inward, focus on your breath. Just leave them be. And you'll learn to not cling, and you'll learn to not resist, and just to allow life to unfold while you stay centered. So you practice that when things happen that feel uncomfortable, you notice, I am uncomfortable. And you do nothing. You don't change your circumstances. You don't change what's happening. You just notice, I am uncomfortable. And you bear that. You sit with that. You stay with that. And the way you do that is by meditating. But meditating meaning focus on your breath. Stay present. Stay with it. Whatever is happening inside of you, just allow it to happen. Let it unfold. And watch it pass away. And then you will learn to not react. This can be extremely difficult when something good happens. When something bad happens, it's like, I don't want it, but all right, I'll bear it, sort of. And then it goes away and it's like, oh, yay. You're not meant to go, oh, yay. But, at first you do. But when you're clinging, there's not something bad happening that you have to bear. There's something good happening that you just have to watch go away again without the clinging. And that is often, I think, for people more difficult than bearing the pain. And it brings immense suffering. This can be clinging to a person for, bringing you love, making you feel loved. That is a clinging that you need to sort of give up. It's not easy, and it's not going to be, perfect. You'll make mistakes. You'll fall back into old habits, but if you're aware and you keep trying to remain equanimous, to not react, to not get attached, by coming back to yourself, always back to yourself. Find your center, find your heart. Remember that you are love, you're not a human being. Oh, sorry, not just a human being. You do have to embrace your humanness eventually. But at first, to just quiet down, you just want to remember that ultimately everything is love, and to let go of anything that comes up. Just stay with your breath, just the breath, in and out, and you'll notice that your mind will calm down. And sometimes this can take days, and sometimes it can take weeks. I've been taken for weeks, like my mind would attack and I'd be gone for weeks. And now, yesterday, that was a whole day I was taken. It settles down so much. I wasn't completely taken. It was like I was watching myself being taken. It's strange. It's weird to try to explain. But it's like my person was suffering. My person was crying. My person was in fear. My person thought, I'm separate. I'm going to lose something. I don't know what to do. Got scared, suffered. And my true self was watching that. And I sort of can now reach a point where when the suffering happens in the person, I can sort of observe and allow it to unfold. Almost like I recognized that this is a trauma in me, in my physical body, that I am in, that I am aware of and that I can sense. And it needs to go through these motions to let it out, almost like that. And then you can sort of hold that in love and let it happen. But in that happening yesterday, I got really, pulled down there, and where I thought, oh God, help, and that's just, it's all part of it. It's all part of the journey, The more you stick to the path, the more this just becomes a dance of just love, Yes. All right. Well, stay on the path. If you're on it, stay on it. If you're not on it, but you want to get on it, get in contact. But being on the path, there's something that will take care of you. You're safe. And, if you need support, reach out. If you have any questions, ask them. I don't know if I will be able to help. All I will try to do is direct you back to yourself, where you will find your own answers. And if you want to be, with like-minded people, then reach out as well. I will try to, hopefully I can, maybe start a group where we can come together on Facebook. I'm mainly active on Facebook, but I'll try Instagram. And, maybe we can even meet up in person. That would be so lovely, to just have this community of support and love, where you can really be yourself and unfold and be safe. That's ultimately, I think, what I want to happen. I was so lonely on my journey and so scared, and I did not know what to do. And all I wanted was someone to hang on to, even though it would have been clinging. But I think sometimes you do need that, especially in the beginning. It's not easy. It's very painful. especially if you're around people who are not on the path, and who continue to suffer and to cause suffering. It can be incredibly difficult. All right. Well, thank you for listening. I hope this resonated with you. And I look forward to hearing from you if you have anything to say or anything to ask. And I hope you'll be back next week.